put it in the car. They jumped in the car, and we drove away. Drove back to the. Oh no, we didn't go back to the hotel. I'm sorry. That's when I drove them down to see you guys.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
You drove down to see us.
Downtown on Livingston Street.
Oh, when we did the fingerprinting.
Yes, sir.
That would have been when you took the pictures of the FBI.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're saying that George and Cindy were aware of this tip?
I'm saying George and Cindy were aware that Dominic and I had been in that area. Yes, sir.
So you explained to them why you were in that area. So they were aware of the tip. That Dominic had received a tip. That Caylee.
Well, the word tip was never.
Did they know what y'all were doing down there on Suburban?
Oh, sure.
I mean, did they think you guys were down there planting trees?
Oh no, I'm sure they knew we were down there looking for.
Did you guys have?
Oh, I know. You know what? I know they knew because Dominic. Because we had. Yeah. Okay. When we had gone up to the what they call the meet and greet thing. Mm-hmm. He hadn't told him then, what we were doing.
Who hadn't told him then?
Dominic,
okay.
Yeah, and it wasn't my place to say anything.
Right.
So when we were up there, like I say, we stayed several hours. Okay. I think till about 4 o'clock, maybe 4:30, somewhere.
Okay.
And he didn't tell him that day, and he didn't tell him why we were supposed to have been there like at 9:30 or something. Again, we didn't get there until 10:30 or whatever.
Right.
And he never explained to them why we were late. Just never said anything to them.
Right.
They just, I don't know why. Kind of lost my train of thought here.
How did George and Cindy know?
Well, I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Darn it. Okay, hold on a second. I'm just going blank. I'm sorry. Darn it.
Well, you were up to meet and greet, and you were running late.
Okay. He didn't say anything to them then. Darn it. I'm trying to remember. And I'm not avoiding the answer to the question. I'm really trying to think when I knew that they knew that we were there. Because I left. Because when I left there that day, I wasn't back down here for weeks and weeks and weeks. That was the last time.
Right.
I mean, it was like, matter of fact, I don't remember. I don't know if I came back down after that again until just this past week.
Right.
But wait a minute, I'm about to shut. I think it might have been on the phone because Dominic would call me on the phone, at least once a week, kind of like touch base. Or I would call him and say, what's going on this weekend? Like I said, I'm just recently divorced, kind of, just kind of a lot of time on my hands. Really emotional kind of guy.
Right.
I would call, you got anything you done this weekend? No. Well, give me a call if you need anything. That type of thing.
Right.
And I would say, anything going on, with the case, and sometimes it'd be a conversation. I was just tracking down leads, and then he would tell me, I think the Ohio thing, the lead in Ohio, that might have happened during that period of time too. I'm not sure. I know the thing about Gainesville came up. I had asked him about on one conversation. I had asked him about the hacking thing.
What hacking thing?
It was on the news that somebody in the Ocala area had hacked into the Anthony's computers, and he was supposed to be tracking that down. They talked about how somebody from the Marion County Sheriff's Department had contacted. I'm not sure if they had contacted him or had contacted Cindy. I'm not sure. And they told him it was none of their business because it was a federal.
Who told him that?
Dominic said he told him that.
Told the Marion County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. What else? But sometime during that, those conversations, what else was it? I'm just trying to think of conversations that we were having on the phone. I would talk to him at least once, once a week.
All right, but we want to get back to you've said, and you sort of said standing outside that George and Cindy and Mr. Baez knew about that tip down on Suburban.
Now, because George and Cindy acknowledged it, but now Baez didn't acknowledge it. He was sitting there, but he didn't. He was talking to the lady next to him, and basically about they're going to file some kind of motion to stop the defleshing thing.
Right.
And also they also told him that probably had a good chance of not getting the body back. That Casey, a question came up, would Casey have the right to, they were using the word remains, not body. If she would have the right to determine, what happened to her once
because she's next to ken, or she's
right. But the Baez they were saying probably not because I guess because the charges.
Okay.
They said something more legalese than that, I'm sure.
Right.
And then Cindy said, "Well, I want her, and we're going to have her. I want her to have her cremated. I want to keep her ashes with me forever. Things like that." George was pretty quiet the whole time. I never remember George saying anything. He got up once to go make coffee. He went out in the garage and found an old coffee maker, took it out in the kitchen.
Right.
They went and got some kind of chips and crackers and salsa dip, and just. Yes, sir.
Do you know how often that Mr. Baez and Cindy spoke to one another?
No, sir.
No idea?
No, sir.
All right. And you said something earlier. I know it's standing outside. You said that Dominic and Cindy seemed awfully close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
for me, uncomfortable.
Oh, uncomfortable. Okay.
I mean, if I was the husband, and I'd been concerned.
And why do you say that? What did you see that made it seem uncomfortable?
Let me see. Well, Cindy's a very touchy-feely kind of person, and nothing wrong with that.
Right,
she always sees me, and she only sees me a few times. Always get a little hug and kind of thing, but she hugs everybody.
Right.
It's not she hugs everybody. But well, like today at the office at the attorney's office, George was sitting.
Which attorney's office?
Mr. Conway. She was sitting over in the corner. Dominic was sitting. There, I think there was two chairs, like this, and they were like holding hands, and just run their hands up and down the arms. And George is sitting there on the I guess a little sofa there, if I recall right. And it's just.
What were other people in the room doing? What else was going on?
Let me see. I think Cindy had tried to call Lee several times because, as you know, Lee initially. We had driven by Lee's house for him to. I don't know if you knew this, but we had driven by Lee's house to bring him there, and he refused to come.
Oh, when we got their fingerprints?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We had driven by there first, for him to come with us.
So you had George and Cindy. You guys had George and
Dominic
Cindy.
was in the car too.
You and Dominic had George and Cindy, and then y'all drove by Lee's house and asked him to come, and he refused.
Yes, sir.
Do you know why he refused?
Yes, sir.
Well, what did he say?
Well, they went in the house. I was in the car.
They come back and who said he refused?
Cindy. Let's see. Yeah, George. Yeah, I knew Cindy went in the house. I think they both went in the house.
Do you have any idea why he wouldn't want to help identify the remains out there, or help with that? Help us. I mean, what do you think?
I can tell you. I can tell you that. You might not like the answer. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. The story was that I got was that he had been asked to come down and give a DNA sample.
Right.
And he had come down to where that was. Right. And after doing the DNA, he was being questioned, and he was being held against his will. I don't know if held against the will is the right term, but at one point, and I think it was you, and I'm not trying to, had asked him to go into another room, and I don't remember if he said you're going to fingerprint him or you're going to take like mug shots, and he got all upset, and somehow he wanted an attorney. This wasn't right. And again, this is from Dominic.
Sure.
This was Dominic. That he was held there for 2 or 3 hours. When he left there, he was in tears. He was so distraught that he had to pull his car over and sat there and cried.
Right.
He felt he had to get an attorney.